Welcome to Fox Netball, live from John Cain Arena. It's a sold-out crowd here for the Vixens and the Swifts. I'm Bianca Chapman, alongside me in commentary is Caitlin Thwaites. Let's get to the Woolworths team cards for the Melbourne Vixens. They start off in attack, as we have seen all season, the dominant Garvin, Austin and Mundy. Maloney in the centre. Shani Lambden, interestingly, gets the start at wing defence. Rudy Ellis is back in the side, but will start the game on the bench.
And for the Swifts, that mobile shooting circle of Fawns and Housby. Captain Paige Hadley and Maddie Proud there in the middle. Maddie Proud, I think, third game back from that injury. Maddie Turner and Sarah Cloud taking up that defensive circle. Obviously, Gorman Brown, O'Shaughnessy and Unique Pallavi, Mavericks training partner in the 10 this week.
And Kira Austin, lucky to get that through to Garvin. Of course, Sophie Garvin, a former New South Wales Swifts player.
Yes.
Now lining up in the navy blue. Cloud.
Contact wing attack.
Huge ball to Ellie Smith.
Goal third.
Yeah, Cloud really lacking options there and had to throw that one and hope. Lucky that they ended up with that penalty. Retain possession.
Proud. Cross to Housby. We spoke about the matchup between Housby and Weston. Straight away, Housby gives it up to Maloney. Lambden. You can really tell the similarity between these two sides, just even in this first minute of the game.
Yeah, the use of the ball speed and that really clinical skill that both of these sides trained to an inch of their life, aren't they, with the way that they execute these skills.
Moving circle down both ends of the court. Fawns. Steadies. The first one for the New South Wales Swifts.
Incredible shooting from her last week. She shot 11 from 15 super shots.
And of course, the power five at the end of every quarter. The ball just knocked out of the hands of Austin. Garvin enters the circle from the top. Austin across the baseline. Really strong lead from Sarah Clow. We heard Bryony Akel talk about the umpires of inter-training, trying to help them limit the amount of penalties that they're racking up every game. Fawns. Cross, Housby takes the drive. She really pushes past the Vixens defenders, creates the space. It lands in the safe hands of Sophie Fawns.
Some of these Vixen centre pass setups that we see. Apparently Hannah Mundy calls the shots down there. First miss from Sophie Garvin, and Clow comes up with a big rebound.
Smith goes long to Turner. Housby struggling for an option. Hands over pressure from Kira Austin. And the Vixens have been relentless in their defensive pressure.
The Swifts having to go lateral a lot of the time. Would like to see a few more options down the line on that ball side from the Swifts. Again, Maloney searching for an option.
Just sitting in space, tracking her opponent. Oh, Smith falls over. An unfortunate one for Ellie Smith.
I actually thought that was quite clever to try and tap it back, because if you take possession on the ground, you're not allowed to do that. Whereas trying to tap it back, obviously the umpire deemed that she did take possession.
Austin. And Kira Austin, also a former New South Wales player, playing and lining up with the Giants, with our co-commentator Kimmy Green, as Joe Weston just swats it out of the hands of Housby. Proud launches it over the top. It's another error from the Swifts in attack.
And it looks like the Swifts are just getting stuck on both shooters either being in the circle or out of the circle. So either one needs to stay in and start to rotate and the other one kicks in when they come out.
An interesting matchup is Paige Hadley. And she is up against Shani Lambden, who is now standing out of play. Lambden's just 3 games to her name in Suncorp Super Netball. And the experience of Paige Hadley.
Shani Lambden obviously staying in the team, even though Rudy Ellis is back in the fold this week. She was 53 Nissan net points against the Australian captain last week and had 3 games to her name. So clearly done enough to impress Simone McInnes.
Mundy storms forward, really trying to break open the Swifts' defensive pressure. It's now Garvin's turn. Strong take in the air.
Goalkeeper beside the player. Beside the player.
Proud. Across to Fawns. The short option, Maloney's trying to smother.
Beautiful roll off from Helen Housby. We don't often see the up to go back move from the shooters, but she had plenty of space because of that moving circle. Fawns had exited. She knew she had all that space behind her.
Austin
Advantage offside centre.
with the 1-2.
Obstruction, golden defence.
And that's her third already. The Vixens out by 1. Hadley dodges to lose Lambden, launches it high to Proud. The long balls are needed, but they're working at the moment. Fawn steps forward, unfazed by the defensive pressure of Mannix. There is our Super Netball live ladder as it stands right now. Obviously the Vixens sitting in top.
The fight's on for that 4th position though, isn't it? The Swifts need to win this to stay in touch.
And the fight is on, isn't it, for first, second and third. How that's all going to play out. It's round 11, 3 more rounds to go. And we've already seen some big upsets this weekend, so you just never know. And Sophie Fawns confidently takes her 4th. Clow takes on the pressure.
Offside centre.
First ball against Garvin. Mundy has to put it up high.
Goal shooter where you are, goal defence beside.
And both Swift defenders playing a split circle in that defensive circle, but just poking at the last second. We talked about their penalties, the Swifts, and they're still just poking, so need to just keep in play a little longer.
Connection and vision from the Swift shooting team. This is a combination that's been able to work together a lot this season.
I really like the change-up that Sophie Fawns has just done those last couple of plays. Rather than moving and getting out of the circle, she's gone back to that more post-up to offer a solid option for her mid-court.
Yes, where you are.
Cloud is stuck behind the body of Garvin.
Whole time, no. Goalkeeper. Goalkeeper, you must stand beside the player.
Interesting that was taken back. The umpires really stamping their authority on this game. Hadley takes the penalty. Forward to Fawns. Impressive shooting from the Swift shooter. Long they go. Austin to Garvin down the other end. The John Cain Arena crowd loving what they're seeing. It's a close tussle here. Look at the Nissan net points, powered by E-Power. Maloney storming out the front with 29, but Fawns and Clow closely following. Weston, she wants her name in the leaderboard too.
Contact win defence.
Smith stands aside. Mundy
Martin construction wing.
back to Austin. We've got 45 seconds till we hit the power 5. We know this is when the Swifts come into their own, leading 105 Suncorp Super Shots as a team this season, sitting number 1 in the league. Cross court, Proud.
Again, just being forced to throw some really long balls across the court here, the Swifts. It'd be great to see them have someone in that centre channel.
And another one for Sophie Fawns. Overall this season, 80% shooting, but it's 61% in the power 5 for Sophie Fawns. As you hear the buzzer now, scores are even. Austin, also a handy Suncorp Super Shot shooter.
And just a quick one, Bryony Akel got up and spoke to Ali Smith about covering that second phase in the middle. It doesn't matter if it's her player or someone else's, just cover. So keep an eye on that one.
Maloney drops it to Garvin. Another miss for the Vixen shooters. With the rebound, cross they go. Here comes the triangle. They work it around.
Subtraction. In the 2 or the 1.
I'm going to take the 2. Her first Suncorp Super Shot and the first one out on court. Proud. Cross to Fawns. Here we go. Housby. She wants it in her sweet spot. This time across to Fawns. Back to Housby. The pressure's over the shot, but it does not matter one little bit. So early on in the game, Katie, and already you can feel the momentum.
Well, especially off the back of last week, they definitely had their hot hands. So getting their eye in early and that confidence up.
Garvin has to chase it down. It's impressive first quarter from the Swifts. The Vixens usually dominate this first quarter.
They've actually won 8 out of their 10 games so far, only losing 1 first quarter for the whole season is a pretty impressive start.
But the Swifts really taking it to them. Garvin.
Centre, come off those ones, that's...
Not confident. Fussing around with the ball is Garvin, but Austin. Another attempt, but another miss. The pressure is mounting from the New South Wales Swifts. Proud. Turner and Hadley sit high up in the mid-court. They're trying to get some depth. Fawns opens it up through the middle. Housby tries to sweep around. This one, they don't want the 1, they want the 2.
And you could see Hadley coming up so high because she wanted to start controlling the tempo down in this attack end, and I think that really worked. She won't be able to do that often in the game, but when she can see that little moment of little double plays the whole way down, get the shooters deeper, get them in the circle to shoot those super shots.
Such great insight.
Is that, Kim, where Maddie Proud would need to read off and do almost a positional switch, so Proud get the depth then?
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Proud had the ball at the time and had to give it to Hadley. But yeah, and then she needs to scoot down pretty quickly. But I liked that the tempo had to go back into their own hands to start creating some flow in that attack end.
Well, just under 2 minutes to play in the first. The Swifts leading by 1. Mundy takes the drive. There's the depth. Back to Maloney. Garvin and Austin fighting and jostling for that front position.
Great little tips and deflections from the Swifts. The Vixens haven't quite caught on to the fact that they're managing to get their hands into a lot of what they would normally be letting go. So it might actually change the timing of how the Vixens need to be delivering. They might need to throw in a couple of balks to just get rid of those hands.
As all good defenders do, they want to disrupt play any way they can. They leave Austin out on the centre pass. The Swifts, they flood back into the circle. Austin finds some space.
Contact goal defence in the 2 or the 1. In the 2 or the 1.
And
Yes, goal
she'll get
attack.
the choice. She'll take the 2. Clow with the pressure over the
Fun touch,
shot.
Goalkeeper, both players.
And third time lucky for Kira Austin. Her second Suncorp super shot. A tip from Lambton, picked up by Baloney. The Vixens out by 2. Just over 30 seconds on the clock.
Kate Maloney always got eyes for the ball. Second in the league for pickups. It's the Vixens. They need to have an eye on the clock here.
Garvin goes back out, resets on the line to Lambton.
Yes.
Austin, up they go. 5 seconds, plenty of time for Garvin. They settle for 1, the Melbourne Vixens, and they'll be relieved to get a 3-point lead going into this quarter-time break.
What have you made of her past week?
Oh, Shanti's great. She's absolutely grabbing it with 2 hands. We're going to have to move, I think. They're going to get jumped on, but she's absolutely smashing it. So, yeah, good.
Thanks, Kate. Back to you over at Comsby.
Another player that's played for both the New South Wales Swifts and the Melbourne Vixens, that is Kate Eddy. Caitlin Thwaites, you've done it. Sophie Garvin, she has done it. Always great to get that insight, giving us absolutely nothing. Kim tried her hardest, but giving us absolutely nothing as to when we can expect a return from the superstar wing defence, Kate Eddy.
And the big change we see out here on court, Unique Pallavi takes the court for the Sydney New South Wales Swifts, sorry.
Unique Pallavi debuting in Suncorp Super Netball. This is her first game, her first goal, straight into the action.
Coming off some hot form in the Pacific Netball Series recently up in Queensland for Tonga, the MVP of that series.
And of course, we all got to see Unique out in form for Tonga at the World Cup last year. Many people asking the question, when will we see her in Suncorp Super Netball? Well, you don't have to wait any longer. We did think it could be for the Mavericks as their training partner this season, but New South Wales Swifts have scooped her up.
And a little bit of insight from Sydney. They brought her in on Wednesday and she had a little bit of time with the team, but from all accounts, she was amazing and the training was just flying, especially in that attack end. So a lot of confidence, especially for Housby out the front.
Exciting opportunity for Unique. Vixens out by 3. Turner stands aside. Mundy had 2 options, found Garvin, and Garvin finds the post.
Fighting construction goal attack.
Proud has to go across the arms of 3 Vixens defenders.
Contact Goldie fans, goal defender. Come off that if you're timing. Contact goalkeeper.
Clear instructions there from the
Goalkeeper
umpire
side.
to Joe Weston.
Goalkeeper, stand aside.
It is good, isn't it, the feedback during a game, so you can adjust if you're listening. That's the key. Mundy generating the play. Look at that ball speed, the power that Hannah Mundy plays with.
It's very impressive not to even stop and turn around and have a look. Just keep that ball moving.
Hadley resets to Turner. Pallavi has her hand up. She wants the ball. She's getting double defended from the Vixens, but it does not matter. And that is her second already.
Vixens.
This is the change that I think will bring for the Swifts. Having that holding shooter, the Vixens are obviously doubling on her, which should actually open up and free up Housby. So we should see a bit of an injection of her drive into that goal circle and the Swifts being able to hit her on that entry.
Now, we spoke about the matchup between Weston and Housby, both international superstars in their own right for their own countries. Of course, Weston for the Diamonds, Housby for the English Roses. But the two of them will give everything It's a physical contest when they're matching up one-on-one. Austin takes the drive. Maddie Turner disrupts the play. And the Vixens can take a breath now with a penalty pass or shot. And the Vixens extend their lead. Out by 6. They've scored the last 3.
Obstruction, circle edge.
Well, the Swifts are already getting better second phase to pretty much on the circle edge because the defenders of the Vixens straight back on a double defence. So freeing up that second phase depth is very, very important, and already just seeing that flow with Unique come on, it's beautiful to watch.
It's risky play, isn't it? Leaving Housby out to run the show out the front for the Swifts. 100% shooting for the New South Wales Swifts on court. Garvin shooting 14 so far. Smith to Proud.
Little box set up here from the Melbourne Vixens, looking and hunting for those pocket balls. A very nice feed over the top from Proud into Pallavi. You can't imagine there's been too much time to sort out that combinations and where they would like the ball.
But it's really Pallavi, you've got to give her credit for her game smarts, isn't it? Knowing how to hold, knowing, you would know that, Katie. She puts on the screen, she opens up the space and relies on the mid-quarters of the Swifts to see the space and give it to her. And she is Victorian as well. Has been in and around Melbourne netball for a long time.
Rudy Ellis there on your screens, just keeping herself warm over there on the bike. Oh, Emily Mannix, she conned her into giving that ball and knew she could take it away. So impressive from the Vixens keeper.
She did well to look up at the right time.
Well, and that transition from Vixens, it was almost 4 passes and straight under the post. It looked like a training drill.
Blistering speed from the Vixens. It is a HCF tactical timeout. It's been called by the New South Wales Swifts. We're going to take a listen into their coach, Bryony Akel.
Guys, reading here. Our anticipation and reading, you can see it. We have to move earlier. They land, get the feet going before they land. We're half a second behind. You're going into, no, stay there. That's okay. If they're going to drop both in the circle, we need to chip to circle edge. I reckon get one off and then it's over. I reckon you go down, go back up to the Mannix. Yeah, guys, inside one's forcing high. Awareness of middle. Yeah, middle. Touch point here. Yeah? Let's go. Let's go. They came in through our own errors. Nothing they're doing. We can climb this back. We worked really hard here. Let's go. Oh, sweet.
On screen, you can see the Swifts run home. They've got the Fibers, the Thunderbirds, and the Giants.
And in that Swifts huddle, they're just obviously talking about the tactics with the double defence on the goal shooter. Paige Hadley just asking Helen Housby to get some depth into that circle and then come back out, because what that will do is one of the defenders will have to pick her up and take the defender back out, leaving a one-on-one.
Some changes too for the Swifts. Lily Gorman-Brown enters the game at wing attack. Hadley being moved back to wing defence.
And I listened in on the Vixens huddle just then in attack. They just want to start looking at the stagger and the pulley system of both Maloney and Mundy. So something to work on there. And then defensively, Simone McKinnon straight to her defenders and said, it's a different setup. She's got a really strong body. It's about coming off, but also hedging your bets on it. So moving and keeping agile in that defensive structure.
Well, Austin confidently over the top of Cloud. Takes the Vixens out now by 9. And as we've seen time and time again, the dominance in this regular time of the Vixens. But it's once we enter the Power 5, the damage that the Swifts can do. Austin trips over It ends in the hands of Garvin on the baseline. The Vixens now out by 10. Gorman Brown finds Pallavi. Accurate shooting from the newest member of the New South Wales Swifts. 6 from 6.
Oh, Maddie Proud just picked the pocket of Hannah Mundy, unfortunately offside.
Austin, back to Mundy.
Goalkeeper contact. You're using your hip.
You heard the umpire say it. Contact using your hip. There's Kate Maloney on your screen, and she is leading the Nissan net points powered by ePower. Huge numbers for Maloney so far in this game, sitting on 81 already.
Contact goalkeeper. Obstruction goal defence.
Pallavi just really showcasing her talents.
Advantage obstruction wing attack.
Austin to Mundy in the pocket. They've got to lift it up high. Of course, Diamond's teammates playing against each other in that circle. You've got Garvin, Austin, Clow, all in the Diamonds. Maddie Turner's played for the Diamonds before. Maloney disrupts. You hear on the mic of the umpire.
Just in line. Yeah, she had the ball first. It's okay.
She wasn't impressed by that. The penalties start to creep up for the Swifts. They've got 10 more at the moment than the Vixens do.
Vixens.
There's the Harvey Norman replay. Those two will contest everything, Proud and Maloney.
So passionate, wear their heart on their sleeve or on their face.
Austin goes back. Oh, and Maddie Turner steals it from the Vixens attackers. What beautiful play from Maddie Turner.
And beautiful placement there from Maddie Proud, also just placing the ball to the non-defender side, even though Unique's angle was actually facing the other way. She read where the defender was. Let's have a look at that Harvey Norman replay.
Bit of complacency, I think, from the Vixens then, just to put it down without even thinking that Turner would be hunting. Gorman Brown resets. Trying to find an option, trying to enter the circle. Pallavi in a 2-on-1.
In the one.
So strong in the air. You hear the power 5. Unique Pallavi can't sink her first attempt at a super shot. The Vixens with a handy win. They go long to Lambton. Mundy. Misjudged the pass, but scooped up by Weston. Weston, cross the go. Mundy's trying to urge her team. Let's get down there. Let's get moving.
Well, and it's good patience from the Vixens and great defence from the Swifts. But what I loved about the Vixens' play just then was that they had the patience, but also were able to change the width and the angle of what they were doing. Weren't able to capitalise on that one, though.
The nimble footwork of Maddie Proud. She's really doing her best against Maloney. Pallavi. Her first Suncorp super shot. Hadley hits the deck.
Both shooters out of the circle in that instance. And Austin. Oh,
Garvin just walks. I'm going to go back out, just tricking. I'm going to go straight to the post. Vixens out by 7. Just over 3 minutes to play in the second. Sophie Garvin, top scorer on court. Gorman Brown.
Contact you grabbing centre.
Provides the Swifts attack with a lot of running. Pallavi Can she do 2 in a row? Yes, she can. Unique Pallavi, welcome to Suncorp Super Netball.
Well, interesting, the Swifts coaches over here are saying, Pallavi, hold. She's like, I'm going to take the 2, thanks. Love it.
She's been waiting for the opportunity for many years now to really get out there on court.
Great positioning there from Sarah Clow. Had that front position up for the tip.
Turner struggling to find the option. Housby opens it up for the Swifts, fires it down to Gorman Brown. Unique Pallavi turns around, 1 balk, 1 shot. And now the scoreline is getting interesting. No surprises at all. It is a HCF tactical timeout. It's been called by the Melbourne Vixens. You get the feeling this might be a bit of a momentum stopper. Let's take a listen into the Vixens huddle.
It's just got to be, don't have to force it, but it's just got to be one-dimensional. So have those options as staggered options, but that we're still coming through and we're not all going across. So read off each other.
Because she's going back, I'm going to come back with her. Yeah. Let the backs take it, you're going to have the line.
Because I'm coming back early.
Yeah. 2 are on so.
On yours, Shani, so we can have that pressure out the front. Keep working to get on her face inside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But just keep working on.
Just keep the pressure on there, we'll keep winning ball, we'll keep capitalising on it. Yeah, I feel like, don't worry, let's turn this one over and then we'll work for it again. That's good.
I just think you just got to keep repositioning and just be in that 2-point, but in that.
Guys, let's go. In defence, we're just going to delay this ball as much as possible. You need to put a strong hold, make us sort of work around to work together. Attack, we've got to capitalise off our centre pass, all right? You've got to shoot.
The Vixens there obviously chatting the options around having Unique Pallavi in that shooting circle. Mannix pulling the shots with the double defence down there, but also them wanting to mix it up a little bit too with some other options. So be interesting to see how that unfolds.
One-dimensional was the call from Simone McInnes.
Well, and the Swifties were pretty happy with Unique Pallavi. They said straight away, keep that hold and keep using that movement that you're doing at the moment. They also want to, in defence, isolate Kira Austin on the centre pass. Allow her to get it, shut down second phase. So keep an eye on that one.
Contact,
Lambden.
Just your timing when you go for that wing attack, Barney's move off.
They go long to Weston. Here's Austin. No hands over pressure. They're letting her go.
We did hear Austin in that timeout as well say, the defence are dropping back. I'm going to drop back with her, so that the Swifts defenders need to actually pick her up further down the court, whereas what they were doing, obviously, that isolate and trying to pick off some balls from there. Playing a bit of a game of chess out there, aren't they? One does this, the other reacts, and then we see this, all the strategies come out.
We spoke about that in the pre-game, just how similar these sides are. That really hard-fought, one-on-one netball in defence, using the ball speed to your advantage in attack.
It's great to see that these players are thinking for themselves out there on court too, and doing some of that problem solving. Well, this is what they're covering. I've got this other thing in my toolkit as well that I can throw at the defence. Scramble, and the Vixens come up with it.
Mundy, back to Maloney, the double play. She uses the ball just to keep Hadley off her. The smothering defence from the Swifts. They're making the Vixens think differently. Garvin, brilliant play from the Vixens shooter.
Maddie Proud acted that one out perfectly to run the clock.
The Vixens leading by 5 as we go into the halftime break. The Vixens come into this second half with a 7-point lead. If we look across, if there's any changes out there on court, it looks like both teams have settled with how they finished that first half. Maloney leading the way in the Nissan net points. Garvin, strong take. Cross court, they go to Austin. Maloney from the top, over the top of Sarah Clow. It's a tough ask.
Contact goal defence.
Austin just takes her time, steps in. Gorman-Brown to Pallavi.
Long lead from her. We don't often see the shooter all the way up there on the transverse line, and an error forced from the Vixens defenders.
Mannix back to Lambton. Cross they go to Weston. Here comes that ball speed. Garvin.
Really great balance there from the Vixens shooters. Goal shooter out of the circle. The goal attack had already headed back to be deep into that circle. Always wanting to have one of your shooters in the circle. Try and have a player ahead of the plays. We see Mundy, a beautiful little roll off into that pocket and a strong take.
Well, and it's the play on that I'm loving with the Vixens. They just have that ball speed and that innate ability to know when to ramp it up and when to pull it back. The Swifts at the moment, they have 0 hands over pressure. So they need to be able to slow the Vixens down at some stage. But the Vixens, gosh, they're flying beautifully in this attack end.
Pallavi with the strong take. In the circle, she finishes it off with the shot. Vixens out by 8. Strong drive from Maloney, hits circle edge. Straight up the front to Sophie Garvin. Beautiful ball speed and the use of the width of the court, using the wide channel to hit straight back up in the middle of that circle.
And then take a look at the difference of the Swifts now. They're just struggling to get it over that transverse. Again, only one option in that attack end.
Mannix takes the lean, takes the jump. Pallavi smartly waits, resets, scores her 14th.
Offside wing attack.
Mundy just shaking her head in disappointment.
Keep going, you're out.
Wing attacks, you all have a fine line.
Contact goal attack.
Kira Austin thought she was clean coming around the body, getting that one.
Bryony Aikle just now standing in the coach's box, yelling instructions out to her players. A miss from Pallavi. The Vixens challenge the rebound, get the throw in. The frustration is all over the face of Coach Bryony Aikle. Maloney. Mundy just pushes through. There's a lot of push and shove going on.
Contact goal kids.
And Austin uses the baseline to her advantage.
And just looking at my stats, B and Katie, Maddie Turner sitting on 14 penalties. So maybe a change there with Tegan O'Shaughnessy coming onto the court and shifting Clout out the front just to try and change something up.
Especially because we're only 5 minutes into this third quarter. Turner's been averaging 17 penalties, sits #1 in the league for penalties, which is not the leaderboard you want to be on.
Clow with the outside arm just coming through with that tip.
The Swifts, they're outnumbering the Vixens now. Housby steps forward. Helen Housby, you look at her total amount of goals. 6 from 6, 1 super shot. Would you be expecting more from her out there?
Well, I think it's also dependent on who's out there with her. So with a holding shooter, you would expect that the goal attacks, the amount that she's shooting, the load that she's taking on is going to be less. Whereas if Fawns was out there, you would expect them to be sharing that shooting load a bit more evenly. So I'm not surprised, given that Unique's been out there for a quarter and a half now, that Housby is a little bit lower on her shots.
Lambton
obstruction, wing attack, Barney's offside.
She gets the penalty. Garvin storms through the middle. Points get across to Mundy. Dictating play, the Vixens in attack. They lift it high to Austin. Now behind play, Nat Avellino, the assistant coach and former Diamond, standing up, instructing Helen Housby. Garvin out wide. Back to Maloney they go. Austin holding.
Seeing a lot of push and shove here between
Outside
Turner and
centre.
Austin under that
Barney's offside,
circle
wing.
there.
Inside the
Arms
circle,
going
players.
everywhere.
It's a real fine line, isn't
Yes,
it?
goal
Just
attack.
looking at the umpires trying to get the call and having to
Obstruction.
shoulder that physicality.
Need to be standing up to the physicality, but obviously not drawing attention to yourself. But if Turner continues that, it looks like it's slightly getting under the skin a little bit of Kira Austin, so maybe doing her job as Shani Landon unfortunately goes offside as she takes that intercept.
Housby around the front. Thumbs up to Proud. Let's do it again, she says. 8 the difference. Garvin to Mundy. This time Plough with the deflection. Not enough in it to turn it into a gain, so the Vixens retain possession. Akel yelling at her defenders, stay there. Look at the defensive deflections. Plough sitting on 8.
Well, B, and we spoke about that pre-game, about the deflections to gain, which is going to be important for the Swifts at the moment. They've got 15 deflections, but only 3 to a gain. So some work to be done on the follow-up chase.
That's where the pickup stats really does come in. What team's hunting them down? Currently, the Vixens sitting on... They've got 6 pickups. The Swifts, they're on 4. Mundy.
Contact goal defence.
She was
Barney's
standing
offside,
still.
wing.
It just got there.
Contact goalkeeper. It's in line with me.
The Vixens want to play on quickly. Not surprisingly. They don't want to get involved in the physicality in the circle, but Clough and Turner are pushing for more.
Contact centre. Barney's offside.
Proud to Turner. Gorman Brown using her speed. I've really been impressed with the umpires in this game, but it's around how they are talking to the players. I think the players would really appreciate the constant conversation and understanding what the calls are about.
It gives them the ability to understand what the call was and then adjust to why it was there, rather than just having a clear contact and then not knowing what it was for.
I wonder if it's been something that's been spoken about amongst the umpires in the last few weeks, because I haven't seen it quite like this. This is a live ladder on the screen right now. The Vixens, if they can maintain this lead and their winning ways, they will go straight to the top of the ladder. And look at that points difference if they can stay there. Of course, the Lightning and the Giants game to follow. And the Swifts really need this win to maintain any race for that final 4.
Rudy Ellis, we see, has snuck out on court against Unique Pallavi. Mannix takes a rest. Ellis obviously returning from that injury a couple of weeks ago.
Emily Mannix, 22.5 missing net points. 1 intercept, 1 gain, 1 deflection. But Kate Maloney continues to lead the way. The Nissen net points powered by E-Power as the ball goes over the baseline, but Plough also sitting in that top 2. Proud watched, she waited, mistimed it, and now Lambden to Mundy. The Vixens continuing to bring their hard work, trying to break open that Swiss defensive pressure.
Barney's obstruction goal attack. contact goalkeeper.
Strong take from Garvin, having that challenge on the front of your body. Usually as a shooter, you want to try and get the defender attacking from behind because you can kind of hold them out with your back, but occasionally you end up with that contact on the front of your body.
See the Harvey Norman replay there. Garvin and Clow really continuing to rack up the penalties. And it's really got to come from the pressure down the court, I think, for the Swifts. Allow the defenders some more time to be able to get around the body and not doing it right in the moment where they're getting the contacts.
Well, and they're sitting on a box at the moment, the Swifts, and at the moment they're just waiting and almost being not so proactive with what they're doing. They're just reacting to everything, so that is in turn giving them lots of penalties. I would suggest going back to one-on-one and actually just grinding the game out because the Vixens have far too much space. In saying that, the Vixens, gosh, they're looking good. They're just going through the motions at the moment. It looks like they're not really putting their foot down as yet, but they're just still getting ball down quite easily.
Contact wing attack.
And this is where we know the tide starts to turn for the New South Wales Swifts in the Power 5. They will be doing everything they can to take some Suncorp super shots, and straight away here's an opportunity for Helen Housby.
Yes. Advantage contact with the fan.
Across to Pallavi. One block. Nails it. Already, that's 3 Suncorp super shots for Unique Pallavi in her first game of Suncorp Super Netball. And pretty impressive stats
Contact goal attack.
for a player that's only trained with the team a couple of times before today's game. Gorman Brown to Pallavi. Is she in? No, she's not. She goes back out. Where's the opportunity? They swing it all the way across the circle. This time, Rudy Ellis. High in the air, rebound brought down. And the Vixens take control. Mundy. Garvin just in the nick of time to find Austin on the baseline. Vixens coaching staff, Di Honey and Simone McInnes. The Sergeant McInnes Cup. Round 5, it was the Swifts and the Vixens. The Vixens won by 3. So they've got one hand on the cup, and at the moment it's looking like it could be going back to the Vixens. It's a held ball call against Helen Housby.
They're just searching for options. She tried stepping on to create something.
Kim, would you make any changes to this Swifts lineup?
Contact goal defense.
I think, yes, definitely. I think they need to start getting some ball and they need to start getting it quickly. So for mine, I'd be putting Tegan O'Shannessy into keeper and do all the tools. Put Clow out to goal defense, put Turner on the bench for a little bit, and then see what she can do against Mundy with a little bit more height.
Turner sitting on 18 penalties.
Advantage contact centre.
The Vixens playing around with it in attack. Garvin, double defence.
And great positioning there from Kira Austin for that rebound. Just getting right behind the defender who was hands over, creating as much space for that ball to drop into if it was going to miss.
Credit to the Swift defenders there. They're really putting the pressure on the shot. They stayed in play. So close to the turnover. Smiles on the faces of the Vixens coaches as the Vixens are now out by 11.
Maddie Proud just grabbing that knee as she goes down, and
Yes. Centre, do you want time?
it's not looking great.
We know she has been out with a knee injury. She missed 4 games already this season, has only just come back. This is her 2nd game back. She looks very uncomfortable as she's limping off the court. Didn't even hesitate to say, I'm not ready. Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Oh, looked like maybe a cork, or
Was it kneecap on kneecap maybe?
kneecap from Shani Lambden. We'll keep an eye on that injury. Hopefully it's not too severe for the co-captain of the Swifts.
Ali Smith taking the court at centre.
Mundy. Back to Garvin. Comes up short. But the Swifts with the rebound, trying to get it down into attack. They've got 22 seconds on the clock. Smith needs to go long, gets to Housby. Vixens defenders, no surprises, they're ready. Housby steps forward. And a rebound from Joe Weston. Vixens, 2 seconds, can they do it? They run out of time to continue to build their lead. They won the first quarter, they've won the second, they've now won the third in this game. They take their lead out to 11 points. Well, that was three-quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy. Maddie Proud is back out on court. Had a little ride on the bike, and she's back, which is great to see. Garben deflected by Turner in the air. Maloney lifts it high over the hands of Clow. It's just those little penalties, isn't it, that just like there's a lot going on.
They're unnecessary too. They're, you know, give your shooter an extra couple of seconds to take time, compose themselves before the shot, and is really not needed. Maddie Proud takes that ball with one arm.
Just holds her arm out. That'll do. Up she goes to Pallavi. And we're talking about Unique Pallavi, 94% shooting, 60% super shots. You've got to be impressed with her debut. And Garben, cross to Mundy. Regathers the ball, turns around straight to the post. Interesting to note, she was out practicing her shooting as well at three-quarter time, especially in the super shot zone.
That last 5 minutes is going to be important for the Swifts.
And Housby pounces on it. Entered the circle late. Took the opportunity. Now sinks another one for the Swifts. The scoreline, only 10 in it. And I say only 10, Katie, because as we know, with these sides, anything can happen when we enter this Power 5.
Absolutely. You would think that they're wanting to try and chip into this lead as much as possible to give themselves the best chance come Power 5 time.
Swifts with the last two. Can they make it 3 in a row? Pallavi goes the one-handed option as well. Now they're back within 9. Austin over for the centre pass. Swifts just filling in that middle channel, trying to make the Vixens be forced to go long. Clow, eyes down, Garben, ball in ring.
They got it there with a lot of patience because the Swifts' defence held them up multiple times through that passage.
That's what we've come to know about the Swifts as well, is their possession play, their patience with the ball.
Step up, centre.
And the Vixens have certainly taken charge of that in season 2024.
We see the gains there on screen. Clow with 6, leading the Nissan net points for the Swifts, but impressive 6 games to her name so far.
Maloney has to keep it in. Austin with the backup. Another impressive performance from Shani Landon. Another game that she can have some minutes to her name.
And it is a really great option. We saw that they were successful having Ellis back and pushing Weston out onto the wing, but to know that they've got someone else there that can step up to enable them to have Mannix back, Weston across to goal defence. It's just adding to the versatility that this lineup has got.
And of course we know that Kate Eddy will be back at some stage. She didn't really give us much. Pallavi has to chase it over the baseline. Zara Walters, we haven't even mentioned her today, and when she will be back and available for the Vixens was a standout in the first 2 games when Hannah Mundy was out. Garben. This time, hits Checks the scoreboard, 29 at 94% for Sophie Garvin.
And a player we haven't spoken a whole lot about is Kira Austin in that goal attack position. She is just chipping away. We've spoken a lot about Turner being out of play, but she is just the magician out the front. Her timing, her ability to see when she needs to ramp it up. Sitting at 21 from 24 at the moment, with 21 centre pass received, 16 feeds. So lots of things going on down that front end, and gosh, she's doing such a great job of it.
You can just see what's happening on the Sunshine Coast. That is the game that's coming up following this one. The Sunshine Coast Lightning and Giants netball. And the Lightning in that race for that 4th position. I'm sure they'll be keeping an eye on what is happening here. Housby steps around, losing her balance, finds Proud. Cross they go to Pallavi.
Advantage offside centre.
Housby.
100% from 1-point range, Helen Housby. 10 from 10.
Maloney takes on Hadley. And the Vixens use their speed. They get it to Garvin. Another miss from Sophie Garvin. To Sophie Garvin's name, but I think it's been more the super shot attempts that have been costly for Garvin. She's 2 from 7. Rudy Alice smartly got her feet around in front position. The ball sails across the baseline. Another opportunity for the Vixens. Out by 14.
Guys, we have Fawns coming on in goal shooter here, Pallavi off.
Something different for Rudy Alice to think about now.
And down the other end, Mannix coming on into goal defence.
Joe Weston taking a seat, having a breather. Mannix back to Lambden. Garvin in backspace was on her own in the circle. She eventually gets the ball, steps through. The Vixens lead by just under 8 minutes to play.
We heard from the umpire, footwork first before the tip out of the hand. Maloney searching for an option in the circle.
Superb shooting from Kira Austin. Just in this 4th quarter, the Vixens are leading by 6 just in this 4th quarter. It is a HCF tactical timeout. It's been called by the New South Wales Swifts. Let's go and take a listen in to Bryony Akel.
Second phase. How do we do that? That's early prep to then get around them. They're pushing us up and we're quite content to stay like that. Okay, so you draw deep, then back around the circle edge. That'll allow much easier access to these shots. All right? Come on. So early and prep.
I know that you're not sick of sitting in that room after a loss and that feeling. So let's go out there, take the handbrake off and show some energy. Let's go.
Strong imagery there from Maddie Proud talking about, I'm sick of sitting in that room talking about a loss. Let's come through for this win. It's great to see her trying to rally the charges.
And the passion too from Sophie Fawns. There's the Swifts run home. They've got the Firebirds, the Thunderbirds and the Giants. Vixens though out by 17. Their run home gets interesting next week in Adelaide. They play the Thunderbirds.
And listening into Simone McInnes, we do have a change. We have Graham coming on into shooter. So we talked about blooding those youngsters, especially when they're given the opportunity. And here we go. Let's see how she goes out there.
Straight away, Cloud giving her some direct attention. The turnover happens. Lily Graham, she's played in 2 games, only a couple of minutes this season. shot one super shot against the Giants here a couple of rounds ago.
A tip from the Vixens defenders, but Swifts maintain that possession.
Fawns chases it down. She's showing the urgency that the Swifts need, but it's a costly error. Offside call against Smith. Mundy to Graham.
Beautiful sweep and timing to get through that top of that circle from Graham.
The rookie, Lily Graham, up against the powerhouse. That is Diamonds defender, Sarah Cloud. Oh, Emily Maddox, outside arm, scoops it in. If you want a lesson on how to get an intercept with your outside arm, that is how you do it. Maddox resets in attack. Lily Graham out the side of the circle, looking to Kira Austin for instruction. Can you see some of the wayward passes creeping into the Vixens game now? This is exactly why the minutes count for these youngsters sitting on the bench.
Maloney comes up with another turnover and another opportunity for the Vixens down this end. So we see a grimace on Maloney's face as she takes that ball. Beautiful space up the middle from Graham.
Inside. Contact, keep her inside.
Austin, will she take the shot? Will she get it to Graham? She takes the second option. And this time, Lily Graham hits the scoreboard. The crowd here, sold out crowd at John Cain Arena to watch these traditional rivals do battle. Austin has to reset.
Copying a lot of attention
She's
from
got a lot of attention.
Maddie Turner.
Power 5 time. Thank you very much, Lily Graham. Her second Suncorp super shot. Look at the lead now for the Vixens. They're out by 20. Housby. It's a miss, but she swoops it in.
I think this is what I love about Shani Lambden in this lineup, what Kate Eddy adds in terms of the attack. Shani Lambden also brings all of that to the attack of the Vixens and bringing the ball through court. So I feel like that's a really great substitution there, being able to pick up the ball and take it where Kate Eddy left off.
Well, we know for the Vixens, Gabby Coffey has been coming in as that replacement player for Kate Eddy. She's more a goal defence moving to wing defence, whereas Shani Lambden, that specific wing defence. It's such a crucial role, an important role out on court.
Another big rebound to Sarah Clow. She's had a great game today, sitting on 74 Nissan net points.
Continues to do everything she can for her side to keep them in this game. Things are slipping away. And Emily Mannix just slips into the background to take that ball.
Goal shooter.
And it's just the finesse of the Swifts. That was just a pass that should have been absolutely nailed, but it just wasn't from Fawns. So it is about taking their time. You can see Fawns now coming off the court and Pallavi going back on into that goal shooter position. So, you know, 13-4, the Swifts won't be happy with this quarter so far.
I think
Kira Austin takes her time.
It's the pressure as well that the Vixens are applying in terms of scoreboard pressure, the situation that puts the Swifts in. They need to put the foot down to get the scores, so it forces you into making a lot of errors. We see Unique Pallavi come back on court and Fawns out at goal attack now. Helen Housby taking a seat.
You just saw the Nissan net points powered by ePower. Kate Maloney continues to dominate, sitting on 128. She's doing a mountain of work out there for the Vixens.
Offside wing.
Fawns just has a quick look down, check whether both feet were in the circle.
And Fawns gets the scoreline back to 20. Some huge results in round 11. The Thunderbirds with a 26-point win last night. And the Vixens dominating in today's game.
Yes.
2 minutes to play.
Goal defense. Both players in the two, the side and away.
Fawns on her own. That's number 2 for Sophie Fawns. Mannix. Fawns gets a tip. I've been really impressed by the energy Fawns is bringing out onto court since she's re-entered the game. Kira Austin is
down behind play.
Yeah.
Looks like she's taken a bit of a hit to the guts. Might be a little bit winded.
She's straight off, puts the goal attack position onto her teammate and Sophie Garvin. Looking very uncomfortable as she now takes a seat on the Vixens bench. Lily Graham misses, but rebounded by Garvin.
Contact centre, pull your arm down.
Hadley to Fawns. Back out they go. Wasn't comfortable, had to reset. She steps across the arms of Rudy Ellis. Pallavi rebounds. But that is telling to how this game has gone. It ends up in the hands of the Vixens.
Contact, goal attack.
.40 seconds on the clock. Garvin goes across court. Turner is waiting and watching. Graham comes forward. Out they go. Strong drives from Sophie Garvin. Really breaking open the Swiss defence.
And the first time we've seen Sophie Garvin in that goal attack bib this year. So great to again see some of these options, even though this one's been forced.
Vixens out by 20. Huge fourth quarter for their Vixens, their strongest one to date. Comes up short for Garvin. And Alice makes sure the Swifts get no more say in this game. What a stellar performance for the Melbourne Vixens. Not only beating the New South Wales Swifts by 20, a huge, huge win as they skyrocket their way up the top of the ladder. But also, they will now take home for season 2024 the Sergeant McInnes Cup. Something that has eluded them. And as Simone McInnes said, is a real telltale sign of how their season is going. Disappointed look and body language from the Swifts. They're trying to fight their way. It's getting harder and harder for them to have an opportunity in this Final Four for season 2024. But the Vixens all gathered together. Simone McInnes will be very happy with that. There's something extra in beating the New South Wales Swifts. And let's get down to Kim Green for our player of the match, powered by Arnott's Vitaweed.
Thanks, B. We have Kate Maloney. Gosh, that was a good game. First 3 quarters, though, really tough, and it was a really tight match. What did you make of the game?
It sure was. We've got so much respect for the Swifts. I know they've had some tough couple of games the last few weeks, but we knew they were going to come out firing. They got stars all across the court, so really proud of the 4-quarter performance today by our girls.
And let's talk about your form, because you were going from strength to strength, leadership on the court, but also your performances are just rising. What are you putting it down to?
I don't know. Look, we're playing some really good netball out there. It's allowing me to really focus on my defence. I think our comms in defence this year has picked up so much over the past couple of years, and we've played together for a long time, and now we've freshened up our attack end. It's coming together, but we've got lots of work to do. We've got Fever next week, and it's going to be another tough one.
Yeah, you sure do. You've got a really hard run home. Tell us a little bit about the preparations that you've put in place already.
We sure do, and we've spoken about it. We think this is the best preparation for us heading into finals. Is we've got 3 really tough games coming up, and you know, if you want to win at the end of the day, you've got to be playing against the best and you've got to be beating the best, and it's going to be the best preparation for us. So we're looking forward to it.
And we talked to Simone pre-game about blooding some of the youngsters, and you've almost had to force that hand a little bit. But today, Graham gets on the court and does such a great job. Tell us a little bit about the conversations that you're having behind the scenes about who is going on and how you continue to push for that final.
Yeah, Lily's been growing and growing each week. I think she came out against the Giants a few weeks ago and she did an amazing job, and I'm really rapt she got another opportunity today. And, you know, hopefully we get our girls back as well. We've got Kate Eddy and Zara still to come into the squad, and they're super close. So hopefully the depth keeps building and we keep being able to give opportunities to more and more girls.
Well, and then what happens then? You've got all these guns sitting on the sideline, but all these guns stepping up on court. What happens then?
Poor Simone, I guess. She'll have just some decisions to make, but I think that's what's going to be, you know, really important for us coming into these finals is we're going to have options on the bench, and every time someone gets an opportunity, they go out there and do a job. And yeah, we're really excited to get those girls back. They've been working really hard.
Well, you're looking really strong. Congratulations again and all the best.
Thanks, Kim. Thank you.
The great insights from Kate Maloney, our player of the match. Katie, let's look at the ladder. The Vixens will be very happy with where they're sitting right now.
Yeah, they go a couple of wins ahead on top of the ladder, but knowing that they've got the Thunderbirds and the Fever coming up in their last 3 games. So 2 really tough games for them, and the Swifts just falling off the pace a little bit in terms of that fight for the 4th position on the ladder.